Today, we're going to talk about considerations you need to make when interviewing accountants. You need an accountant or tax preparer involved in your business to help you make unemotional decisions based on the numbers, to help you file your taxes every year, and to help grow the business. Over your lifetime, taxes are one of the expenses that you'll spend the most money on. You have too much going on to keep up to date with the latest tax information. So find someone who is smart, knowledgeable, trustworthy, and able to communicate with you professionally to be on your team. An accountant is a generic term that describes anyone with an accounting degree. But be warned that not all accountants and business advisors prepare tax returns. There are plenty of accountants that just do audits or attestation work and don't touch taxes. And there are plenty of accountants and CPAs in the corporate world that do nothing with taxes. Tax preparers are split between two distinct designations, CPA and EA. A certified public accountant, or CPA, is a state-licensed accounting professional designation earned by passing a 4-part exam and complying with education and experience requirements. Most states require at least a bachelor's degree and 2 years of public accounting experience in addition to passing the 4-part exam. The exam covers financial accounting and reporting, audit, business environment and concepts, and regulation. So it's a lot more involved than just taxes. But once the CPA exam is passed, there are no other formal tests required to be taken. All you have to do is continuing education hours every year. So look out for dinosaurs because they haven't actually been tested on this stuff in a long time. An enrolled agent, or an EA, is a federally authorized tax practitioner who can provide tax advice, file tax returns for individuals and businesses, and represent taxpayers before the IRS. To become an enrolled agent, you must pass a 3-part test, apply with the IRS, and pass a background check. Now, the main difference between the two is that a CPA that practices tax likely specializes in tax and other accounting functions, like audits, reviews, or nonprofit work. But an EA's main focus is taxes and helping tax preparers comply with the IRS guidelines. So make sure when you're interviewing accountants, CPAs, EAs that want to work with you, that you fully understand what they're going to do for you, how often they want you involved, and what you can do to lead to the best relationship possible. Make sure that you understand what they do for 8 hours every day, and whether or not their work and focus are what your business needs. And while your accounting team might not be W-2 employees of your business, they're very important for the future of your business to ensure that you are on a good financial path and that you have accurate and complete financial data. Bookkeepers will ensure that your books and records are up to date, but your accounting team will help you interpret those books and records. They're the team that will help steer the ship when the waters get tough, and we'll be there to celebrate along with you when milestones are reached and goals are achieved. Trust. Choosing an accountant is a very personal decision. They'll know how much money you make, what personal investments you have, what ventures you tried this year but failed at, where you're spending your money when you finally hit on something that made you a ton of money. And most people don't like switching accountants because there's a benefit to having a long-lasting relationship with the same accountant. If they know you on a personal level, they'll be invested and have a vested interest in your business succeeding. They can help you plan for the future and strategize avenues to explore like retirement savings, tax credits, what to do with stock before the capital gains rate changes again, and what year you should sell that investment property and take the tax hit. It's important to find someone that you can be open with and trust. You're going to have a lot of questions for them. Some might be far-fetched or might make you look silly, and you can't let that stop you from asking. You will have to have uncomfortable conversations, so it should never feel like a struggle to pick up the phone and reach out to your accountant. The good news is that since the internet is like 60 years old, the accounting profession is finally getting online. We have LinkedIn, Google reviews, Facebook pages, and some of us even have TikToks. So research them online. See what other businesses and individuals are saying about them. You can even reach out to those businesses to follow up and ask questions about their experience and what to expect. Talk to the accountant candidates that you've selected a few times, in person or on video. Make sure they look professional, trustworthy, and honest. Try to pick up on their demeanor and attitude towards you, towards your story and where you want to go with your business. If you already get the vibe that you're wasting their time, that probably won't change as the relationship progresses. Knowledge. Things are changing so fast recently in the tax world. You need to make sure that your accountant is keeping up and can explain how your business is affected, what you can do better to position yourself for the next 2 to 5 years, and what you can do to achieve your goals. Obviously, they should be able to differentiate the tax treatment of business meals, personal meals, and travel meals, but the knowledge has to extend beyond that. They should be able to make recommendations about your cost of goods sold, whether or not your workers are independent or not, and those types of common scenarios. But they should also be able to look at your business as a whole and suggest how your entity setup might not be the best fit for you. Or if you want to take a set salary every other week and have taxes withheld on it, how much you'd have to generate to make that happen. How your entity structure would have to change and what would be required of you to make that happen. Your accountant shouldn't just be entering the tax information, spitting out a tax return, and sending you on your way until next year. We have so much more to offer to you and your business than that. So find someone that can give you the guidance you're looking for. I can assure you that not all accountants are equal. You can give your tax information to 2 enrolled agents and 2 CPAs, and I'd be willing to bet that none of the tax amounts owed would match each other. Tax preparation is not a commodity. You get what you pay for. Communication. Accounting is the language of business. What you need your accountant for is to interpret that language into English for you, for at least a few meetings. Eventually, you'll start to pick up on the language because you will have heard the terms before, like assets, deductible expense, liability, equity, gross profit margin, net operating income, officer salary, multi-member LLC, etc. But in the beginning, you have to make sure that your accountant can communicate with you. Explain it like you're 5, and you need to make sure that you can understand them. When interviewing, there's nothing wrong with asking an accountant to explain to you the difference between a single-member LLC and a sole proprietorship, or asking them the taxability difference between a cost of goods sold expense and an overhead expense. There is none. See how they answer it. See if you understand what they're saying, or if they're talking too fast, droning on too long. You're likely going to be asking this person hundreds of questions that are way more complicated than that. So make sure you can even stand to listen to that person. I've worked with a few accountants that could go on for hours about a question as simple as the difference between sole props and single-member LLCs. The overall communication is important, but also how frequently do they suggest you meet? Just once at tax time? That's going to be pointless if you actually want to plan for taxes. You should meet with your accountant at least twice a year. Usually 3 times is a sweet spot, and 4 if you have a ton going on. Multiple meetings every year means that you can project your tax liability, pay in some money while you still have it in your bank account, and get ahead on your taxes. Because when you get behind in your taxes, it's hard to get out from under that. Ask them how often they meet with clients in similar industries or similar business setups. Make sure that fits with what you're looking for. And make sure that you understand their preferred method of communication. If you have a quick question, should you schedule a call, shoot them a text, email them? How long should you expect to wait for an answer? You should have this information up front so that your expectations are set for both parties involved. It's very important to make sure that you're 100% comfortable with who you're hiring to be your guide through the financials and taxes of your business and personal life. If you found this video helpful, We're real accountants and CPAs who work with hundreds of small business owners just like you every day. Check us out at engagecpas.com to see if we're a good fit for your business. We also have business courses available to help small business owners understand their business. They're for you to learn about your financials, your taxes, how to pick the right entity, tax myths, and everything else about your business. Learn at your own pace. Check those courses out on the Education tab on our website. You can also find us on Instagram at Engage CPAs.